This has been a good adventure. Next time, I will find and capture. This time, capture. Like actually get it. Get spirits of the dead. Okay.
How you doing? Today I'm going to be doing a video that I had completely not planned because I had no idea that today is Friday the 13th in October. And because it's such a rare occasion that is only going to happen in the next 6 years from now, I have to rank the Friday the 13th films today. So I have to incorporate it months after I already finished all my Halloween content. But it's alright, I can get over it because Friday the 13th is a franchise whilst it's not in my top favorite horror franchises or anything. It is still a very interesting franchise nonetheless in the fact that Friday the 13th is very fun to watch. And I had already did a Friday the 13th special occasion sometime last year by posting all the game soundtracks and all the scores and music tracks for that. But today, I'm going to be ranking the films once and for all. Let's just get it over with. Coming in 12th place or last place is going to be Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. What a piece of shit of a movie. This movie, you could just tell they had no other ideas. They had no steam going for them, and they were just like, you know what, let's just put Jason in New York, because why the fuck not? Putting Jason in New York, having him kill people on the Twin Towers, that would have been something crazy. Unfortunately, they didn't have the budget for that, and so instead of like changing the entire story, they just decided, oh, let's just make Jason Takes a Cruise for the whole movie, and then only have him in Manhattan for like 20 minutes. Granted, we got some iconic shots. Granted, we got some iconic kills. That cold kill is very underrated. Definitely check it out. Story-wise, this is terrible. All the characters are fucking trash. They have no good character personalities whatsoever. Do you even remember the main chick? I don't remember the main chick. I know she had like an uncle who like teased her like, oh, don't swim in the water. Jason's gonna get you. Ah. And shit like that. And then Jason turned into a child because of toxic waste or something. Very stupid shit and a very terrible, poorly made movie. And it sucks too because I would have really loved to see Jason box that motherfucker's head off on the Twin Towers. Imagine that. This motherfucker fighting on the Twin Towers. That shit would have been cool as hell. Unfortunately, we didn't get that, and we got a shitty movie in return, so bottom of the barrel easily. Coming in 11th place is going to be Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, A New Blood, whatever the fuck blood. The blood is just stale. I'll tell you that much, because there is no blood. There is no blood at all in this movie. It has been cut to shit by the rating system. Did they ever allow the unrated cut? I don't think they did, but it's fucking poorly hacked down to shit. It's not even enjoyable. I mean, Jason, for one, is a badass motherfucker. He looks awesome as a decayed corpse with Kane Hodder, who is this hulking motherfucker playing him. He looks really cool. Unfortunately, the idea for this movie was that it was supposed to be Jason versus Carrie, but they couldn't get the rights or something like that, so they just replaced Carrie with some random bitch who has psychotic powers or psychic kinetic powers, something like that. Execution was terrible. The chick, who the fuck gave a shit about the chick? Everybody else is just a boring character, nothing very interesting, nothing lifelike or like fun with their characters. Nah, it's just boring cliche shit, cliche, whatever the fuck a. And it's an easily passable movie, although I do like certain scores here and there. Coming in 10th place is going to be the original Friday the 13th. You can call it controversial if you want, I don't give a fuck, this movie's terrible. It doesn't have Jason, so automatically it's not that intriguing. The mystery element of its story leads to nowhere because there's no way you could have possibly figured out the mystery when you didn't even introduce the character that could have solved all that. It's like a Five Nights at Freddy's thing where it's like, oh, let's just put the character at the very end and be like, oh, you must know this character despite the fact that we didn't introduce this character until now. No, all in all, it's just a cliche generic film, and this is before slasher films could even be cliche and generic because this is still when they were starting up. I mean, granted, it was supposed to be a Halloween rip, and you could tell because of how poorly it was made. It's just a summer camp and people dying because of a crazy mother who lost her child. Glad they decided to change that direction instantly for the sequel, but they fucked up the story in the meantime and the lore. But I mean, who the fuck comes to a Friday the 13th film for the lore? Friday the 13th is all about about the kills and Jason fucking Voorhees. So Friday the 13th Part 1, you can get the fuck out of here. On that similar level, coming in 9th place is going to be Friday the 13th Part 3, the 3D one. It's exactly the same problems that I have. Uninteresting characters, cliche, generic storyline. You have a little bit of a biker thread at some point, but even that wasn't all that interesting. The only leverage that this film has is Jason Voorhees over Pamela Voorhees, which obviously is always going to be more enjoyable to see Jason Voorhees fucking people up left and right like crazy and shit. Also, this is when he dons his hockey mask for the first time, which is something else that people don't know, is that he didn't get his mask until the third film. Somebody who's not a fan of the franchise wouldn't know that, just like they wouldn't know that he wasn't a main villain until Part 2. Isn't that crazy how weird this franchise is? But nonetheless, that's what makes it what it is. Coming in 8th place is gonna be Jason X. Yeah, they sent Jason to space because what the else are you supposed to do with him while we wait for Freddy vs. Jason? I don't fucking know. Send him to space, have him kill some people in space. Granted, some of the kills are fucking awesome. Granted, the gimmick of him being in space was actually utilized pretty good. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy his death, being like he falls from the sky as a meteor shower. But all in all, it's just another cliche, boring ass film with boring ass characters. I mean, you're just there to see the kills, and the kills do deliver. And Uber Jason, this robotic fucking Jason, hell fucking yeah, that boy look cool as hell, and he'd be fucking people up. Jason X, 8th place. Coming in 7th place is going to be Friday the 13th Part 2. Granted, I have this one a little bit leveraged over Jason X because Friday the 13th Part 2 does actually have a much more standout main character in the form of Jenny. Even though Jenny is not that interesting of a personality, at least they utilize what she does have, like her being a psychologist, I believe, to her advantage to defeat Jason, which is something only repeated a few times after that. And whilst the characters are a lot more enjoyable in this film, I always fault this film with its crazy, stupid ending that just makes no sense, and even to this day, no one knows what the hell that ending was supposed to be. Was it supposed to be a dream? I don't know. But Friday the 13th, the game, makes it seem like Jason lived and killed a motherfucker, her boyfriend or something, whatever. I don't truly know because Friday the 13th Part 3 doesn't even follow up on it. But I do enjoy still how Jenny was using her psychology to pretend to be Pamela and trick Jason and lure him, but the bitch is stupid for throwing a machete in his shoulder, not his fucking skull. What the hell are you doing, Jenny? Come on now, you're a psychologist, I get it, but like, get the brain! Also, the wheelchair death. Fucking love it. Coming in 6th place is going to be Jason Goes to Motherfucking Hell, because why the fuck not? Send his ass straight to hell. Now granted, he doesn't get sent to hell till the very end, but this is a very weird and strange Friday the 13th film because it's really not a Friday the 13th film. When New Line Cinema picked it up, they just kind of did their own thing with Jason. They had no fucking clue what Jason is all about, so they just made him this paranormal supernatural entity that can transfer through this heart rat thing that goes into people's mouths and overtakes them internally, and then it can crawl up a bitch's vagina and become Jason? Is that what happened? Who the fuck knows? Here's what I do know. Steve was a really cool main protagonist. I really enjoyed Steve. He was really entertaining. I also enjoyed the crazy aesthetics overall and how each of the characters have their own like personalities to them, as well as how this whole theme of Jason transferring souls and bodies was really portrayed as this very disgusting and dark thing. I mean, the motherfucker passed through one motherfucker and it was supposed to lead to like a Evil Dead crossover, I think. I don't know. But I know a motherfucker started to melt and the practical effects were beautiful. It looked disturbing, it looked disgusting, and I always gotta credit it for that. But the ending, Jason went to fucking hell, alright, by a bunch of big old hands dragging him down. And then Freddy, Freddy vs. Jason. But first we gotta take a stop to space first. I don't know. Jason Goes to Hell though, so thanks for the good marketing. It wasn't the final Friday though, so it's also bad marketing. Fuck you. Coming in 5th place is gonna be Friday the 13th Part 5, The New Beginning. It's a new beginning because Jason's actually supposed to be dead head, and we get a copycat killer in this one who pretends to be Jason, but he's just an average dude who somehow is strong as fuck, so I don't know how that works. But what I really enjoyed about this movie is that the characters are just fucking entertaining as shit from start to finish, and the whole reason why that's even the case is because the director didn't even focus on the storytelling. All he was focused on was shooting some pornography. He was trying to shoot some bitches and motherfuckers naked as hell. And because of that, the actors actually improvised a lot of their shit to just make their characters entertaining and make this film even more entertaining. And I gotta give credit to them because they fucking made this film what it is. And people will hate this film for, you know, obviously not having Jason and obviously not having a coherent director, but I can't fault it because it's still an entertaining watch. Every character, I enjoy their presence. So it sucks when they have to get killed literally like 5 minutes later, but we get both good entertaining characters and some naked people. So everything a Friday the 13th fan could want, you get. Now I went a little bit back and forth on my fourth place, but coming in fourth place for me currently is going to be Freddy versus Jason. Now we finally get Jason versus Freddy in this crazy one-on-one action, but we have to take a little detour to first build that up by having a bunch of boring ass characters get slaughtered along the way. And a lot of the issues that I have with this film comes from how they treat Jason as compared to Freddy. Like, they give Freddy a great treatment here. I enjoy that fact. I do not enjoy how they treated Jason though. Jason apparently is a soy boy to water because part 8 really fucked him up, so they just like, oh wait, the last Jason movie that the other company had him afraid of water? That means he must have a fear of water. He's literally walked into water before like it was nothing, so I don't know where that comes from, but okay. Then again, the whole story is convoluted as shit that makes no sense whatsoever, so I can't really fault them too much. And they didn't have Kane Hodder, who played Jason 4 movies in a row, to come back and play Jason and fight Freddy Krueger, despite the fact that he's like this hulking monster and has literally become the embodiment of Jason. They got some random guy. I don't think he's even that random. I think he was like somebody who died in one of the movies. But still, we all wanted Kane Hodder. We didn't get it. But what we did get was Jason versus Freddy in a brutal fucking bloody mashup. Now, even though they were flying all over the place like cartoon characters, shit was fun, shit was entertaining, and the right person won. Let's go, Jason. Fuck you, Freddy. But did Freddy really lose? Who knows? Now, when are you gonna stop the copyright problem so we can get Jason versus Michael Myers, bitches? Coming in third place is gonna be Friday the 13th Part 6. Now, Part 6 was a very comedic Friday the 13th that really toned down what Friday the 13th is all about, which is the bloody kills and the tits and all the naked people and crazy shit like that. And despite the fact that it's very toned down from your usual Friday the 13th, they actually managed to make the comedic side to this movie work in its favor and make Jason Voorhees he's still a threat somehow. Somehow, undead Jason has become more popular than alive Jason, which tells you all you need to know. And plus, this Friday the 13th movie also has my favorite kill in the franchise. Come on, you telling me that ain't badass? Finally, we also got Tommy Jarvis returning as the main character to end his story arc once and for all, and granted, Tommy Jarvis is the best main character we could have got from this series. He does perfectly fit the role, and the actor who plays him in this movie does a great job re-embodying Tommy Jarvis and what he should be like, and he's ultimately become the main foe for Jason Voorhees, even in the video game. Coming in second place is going to be Friday the 13th Part 4. The final chapter. Now, besides the bad marketing there with it not being the final chapter, Part 4 had everything a Friday the 13th fan would love from the series and more. It had a group of people who get slaughtered and killed by Jason in cool and crazy ways. It actually had a storyline to it with this kid, Tommy Jarvis, and his family, and them becoming the main characters and the ones to ultimately end off Jason once and for all. You got Jason finally going down, getting his fucking shit fucked up in one of the best kills in the series, and you got a lot of entertainment value with this movie as well. There's so much to like about what is portrayed here. Even the characters that are going to be the body count have some fun to them as well. Hey, Tad, where's the corkscrew, man? I mean, that dance too is always gonna be in my head. I love the song that they used there too. Love is a Lie. Underrated song. People should definitely check it out. And I actually hope it features in the FNAF movie, albeit I don't think it actually will, but it would be awesome if that is the case. And a great reference too. But ultimately coming in first place is going to be the Friday the 13th remake. Why do Friday the 13th fans hate this? I don't fucking know. It gives them everything they fucking want. Brutal ass kills, an intimidating Jason Voorhees, and some tits. What's not to like? I think the reason why people usually hate this remake is because of one specific character being a very aggravating, annoying character that you want to see die. But I think this is one of those few times where they actually execute that character well. It's not like a character like Tina from Halloween 5, who is just an annoying character who you're supposed to actually root for. You're actually supposed to hate this character, and he fits that role perfectly. You want to see him die, and then he fucking dies in a brutal way, and you're like, fuck yes. And plus, to focus all your attention on that one mug, as compared to everybody else, and as to compare to the whole movie and Jason Voorhees going around slaughtering people, there's a lot more things you could hate about the other films as compared to that. And I also love how they somehow managed to combine 4 movies into one movie and it not feel out of place or messy or crazy. It actually fits perfectly as just one movie. The fact that they can combine Friday the 13th Part 1 to 4 into a single movie just tells you all you need to know about those 4 movies and how little they had to offer. Like, they literally combined every major story element from those movies into this movie and did it perfectly. What better remake can you get? This is a perfect remake. I don't want to hear it. Stop sleeping on it. And also go play the fucking video game today. I'm not sure if they're gonna start closing down the game, but this is one of the last few times where the occasion of Friday the 13th being played on the game is gonna be like a special occasion, so let's enjoy it while it lasts, people. Anywho, arrivederci.